11 wins, 7 losses. That is a winning record. That is a record most NFL quarterbacks would celebrate. That is a record that should guarantee a starting job somewhere in professional football. But I need to ask you a question before we go any further. Have you ever heard of this quarterback? I am willing to bet everything that you have not. I'm willing to bet that his name has never crossed your mind when thinking about Raiders history. I am willing to bet that the NFL has successfully erased him from your memory. And that erasure is not an accident. Something happened to this quarterback, something the Raiders organization has never explained, something that transformed a winning player into a ghost overnight. He did not get arrested. He did not fail a drug test. He did not demand a trade or cause locker room problems. He did everything right. He won games. He led his team. He performed exactly how a franchise quarterback should perform. And then he vanished. I spent weeks investigating what happened to this man. I talked to people who were in that locker room. I examined decisions that made no sense at the time and make even less sense now. What I discovered is a story the Raiders have never wanted told. A story about how the NFL treats players who do not fit the narrative. A story about a man who was erased not because he failed, but because erasing him was convenient. But here's what disturbs me most. The reason this quarterback disappeared has never been publicly revealed. The people who made the decision to move on from him have never explained their logic. And the man himself has remained silent about what really happened behind closed doors. Until now. By the end of this video, you will know everything. You will know what this quarterback accomplished. You will know why he was abandoned. And you will know the real reason the Raiders have spent over a decade pretending he never existed. But I have to warn you about something first. This story is going to make you angry. Not because of what this quarterback did, because of what was done to him. Let me take you back to January 2010. The Oakland Raiders are a disaster. They have just finished another losing season. Their quarterback situation is a revolving door of failure. The fan base has lost hope. The national media treats Oakland as a punchline. Al Davis, the legendary owner, knows he needs to find stability at the most important position in football. He needs someone who can win games, someone who can restore credibility, someone who can make the Raiders relevant again. He acquires a quarterback from the Washington Redskins, a former first-round pick who has been mishandled by one of the most dysfunctional organizations in professional sports. A player with all the physical tools, but none of the supporting cast. This quarterback arrives in Oakland with something to prove. He has watched his career slip away through no fault of his own. He has been blamed for losses that were not his responsibility. He has been discarded by a franchise that never gave him a real chance. Now he has a fresh start, a new team, a new opportunity. And he is about to do something that nobody expects. He is about to win. But before I tell you about the winning, I need to tell you something about this quarterback that explains everything that comes later. This man was not flashy. He did not give memorable interviews. He did not create controversy. He did not generate headlines. He simply played football. Quietly, efficiently, effectively. In the modern NFL, this is a death sentence. The league markets personalities. The league promotes drama. The league needs quarterbacks who trend on social media and generate debate on talk shows. A quarterback who simply wins games without creating noise is invisible to the NFL's marketing machine. Remember this, because it explains why what happened to him was allowed to happen. The 2010 season begins. The Raiders are low expectations. Most analysts predict another losing year. Most experts dismiss Oakland as irrelevant. But something strange starts happening. The Raiders start winning. Week 1, victory. Week 2, victory. Week 3, the Raiders lose, but only barely. The quarterback plays well in defeat. Week 4, another victory. The pattern continues through the fall. The Raiders are not just competitive, they are good. They are beating teams they have no business beating. They are relevant for the first time in years. And leading this transformation is the quarterback nobody expected anything from. By November, the Raiders are 6-4. They are in playoff contention. The fan base is energized. The national media is finally paying attention. But here is what nobody was talking about at the time. The quarterback was not just winning. He was winning efficiently. He was protecting the football. He was managing games intelligently. He was doing everything a franchise quarterback is supposed to do. His statistics were not spectacular, but statistics lie. Statistics miss context. Statistics cannot capture what this man meant to a locker room that had forgotten to win. He brought professionalism. He brought consistency. He brought belief. For the first time in nearly a decade, Raiders players started thinking about January football. They started believing that something special was possible. And then, everything fell apart.
December 5th, 2010. Oakland Raiders versus San Diego Chargers. The game is competitive. The Raiders are fighting for playoff positioning. Every game matters. And then, the quarterback goes down. A hit to his throwing shoulder. The kind of injury that does not look serious in real time. The kind of injury that players usually shake off. But this injury is different. This injury will change everything. The quarterback tries to return. He cannot. His shoulder is not responding. The pain is too severe. He leaves the game. He does not know it yet, but he has just played his last meaningful snap as an Oakland Raider. Now here is where this story takes a turn that nobody saw coming. The Raiders have a decision to make. Their starting quarterback is injured. They need to find a solution for the remaining games. They turn to their backup, a young quarterback with limited experience but significant physical talent. This backup plays well. The Raiders win their next game, and then another, and another. By the end of the season, the Raiders finish 8-8. Not a winning record, not a playoff berth, but progress. And the man who built that progress, the quarterback who went 8-5 before his injury, the player who transformed the culture and made winning possible, he becomes expendable. This is where I need you to pay very close attention, because what happened next has never been adequately explained. The 2011 offseason arrives. The Raiders have a decision to make about their quarterback situation. On one hand, they have the veteran, the man who won 11 games over 2 seasons, the player who had proven he could lead this team to victories. On the other hand, they have the young backup, unproven over a full season, raw in his development, but exciting, marketable, the kind of player who generates buzz. Al Davis chooses the young quarterback, not because the veteran could not play, not because the veteran had done anything wrong, not because there was any logical football reason to move on. Al Davis chooses the young quarterback because he wants to see what he has. The veteran is relegated to backup duty. The man who won 11 games is now holding a clipboard. But here is what makes this decision even more confusing. The 2011 season begins. The young quarterback struggles. The Raiders lose games they should win. The offense that had been efficient under the veteran becomes chaotic under his replacement. And yet, the veteran never gets another chance. Week after week, he sits on the bench. Week after week, he watches his team struggle. Week after week, he waits for a phone call that never comes. The Raiders finish the season with a losing record. The playoff hopes that the veteran had built disappear completely. And after the season, the Raiders release him. 11 wins, 7 losses. Released. No explanation, no gratitude, no acknowledgement of what he had accomplished. Just a transaction wire notification and a cleared locker. Now I need to tell you what happened after the release, because this is where the story becomes truly heartbreaking. The quarterback signs with the Chicago Bears. He thinks he has another chance. He thinks some team will recognize what he can still do. he is wrong. In Chicago, he becomes a backup. He barely plays. His career continues its slow fade into obscurity. He bounces to the Cleveland Browns. More backup duty. More waiting for opportunities that never materialize. He finishes his career with the Cincinnati Bengals, a forgotten man on a team that does not need him. By 2014, he is out of professional football entirely. 11 wins, 7 losses. Career over. And here is the question that haunts everyone who remembers what he did. Why? Why did the Raiders move on from a winning quarterback? Why did no other team give him a real opportunity? Why did a player with a winning record become invisible? I have thought about this question for weeks, and I believe I have found the answer. But the answer is not what you expect. The answer is not about football at all. Let me tell you what I discovered. In the modern NFL, winning is not enough. Being good is not enough. Doing your job quietly and professionally is not enough. The league needs content. The league needs storylines. The league needs quarterbacks who generate attention whether they win or lose. This quarterback generated no attention. He won games, but he did not give the media anything to discuss beyond his wins. He did not have a compelling personal narrative. He did not create drama. He did not feed the machine. And so, the machine discarded him. The young quarterback who replaced him was exciting. He made plays that appeared on highlight shows. He gave interviews that created debate. He was content. The veteran was just a football player. And just being a football player is not enough anymore.
This is the hidden truth about the NFL that nobody wants to discuss openly. Winning does not guarantee anything. Performance does not guarantee job security. The only thing that guarantees longevity is the ability to generate interest beyond your on-field production. This quarterback could not do that, so he was erased. His name is Jason Campbell, and now that you know his name, let me tell you what that name should mean. Jason Campbell was a first-round draft pick in 2005. The Washington Redskins selected him with the 25th overall pick. He was supposed to be a franchise quarterback. He was supposed to lead Washington for a decade. But Washington was a disaster. They changed offensive coordinators every year. They never built a competent supporting cast. They set Campbell up to fail and then blamed him when he failed. By the time he arrived in Oakland, Campbell had been beaten down by years of organizational dysfunction. He had every reason to be bitter. He had every reason to quit. He did not quit. He showed up in Oakland with professionalism that impressed everyone who worked with him. He studied film like his life depended on it. He prepared like he had something to prove. Because he did have something to prove. And he proved it. 11 wins in 18 starts, a winning percentage that most quarterbacks would envy. But it was not enough. It could never be enough, because Jason Campbell was not a storyline. He was just a player. And players are disposable in the modern NFL. The Raiders have never acknowledged what Jason Campbell did for them. He does not appear in team retrospectives. His games are not celebrated. His contributions are not remembered. He won 11 games. He is treated like he won 0. This is the injustice that drove me to make this video. This is the erasure that I refuse to accept. Jason Campbell deserved better from the Raiders. He deserved better from the NFL. He deserved better from the fans who have forgotten he ever existed. He gave Oakland everything he had. He restored hope to a franchise that had forgotten what hope felt like. He proved that the Raiders could win with the right quarterback, and they threw him away. Now I need to tell you why this story matters beyond Jason Campbell himself. Because this is not just one man's story. This is a warning about how the NFL operates. The league will use you until you are no longer useful. The league will celebrate you until celebrating you becomes inconvenient. The league will remember you only if remembering you serves their interests. Jason Campbell did not serve the NFL's interests, so Jason Campbell was forgotten. But here's the thing about being forgotten. Someone always remembers. I remember. The people watching this video will remember. And now that this story has been told, it cannot be untold. Jason Campbell won 11 games for the Oakland Raiders. He did his job. He performed with excellence. He deserved a career that lasted longer than it did. The Raiders took what he gave them and offered nothing in return. They used his winning to build something, and then they handed that something to someone else. That is not how you treat players who sacrifice for your franchise. That is not how you honor winning. That is not how you build a culture of excellence. The Raiders have spent years wondering why they cannot establish consistency at quarterback. They have cycled through starter after starter, searching for stability. They had stability. His name was Jason Campbell, and they threw him away. If this story made you angry, good. You should be angry. What happened to Jason Campbell was wrong. If this story made you remember a quarterback you had forgotten, even better. Because being remembered is the only justice we can offer him now. Jason Campbell will never play another NFL snap. His career is over. His opportunities are gone. But his legacy does not have to be silence. His legacy can be this video. His legacy can be the people who watch and share and refuse to let him be erased. The Raiders forgot Jason Campbell. The NFL forgot Jason Campbell. We do not have to forget. Subscribe to this channel if you believe that players who win deserve to be remembered. We tell the stories that the NFL wants buried. We honor the men who gave everything and received nothing in return. Share this video with every Raiders fan you know. Ask them if they remember Jason Campbell. Ask them why they forgot. Comment below with your memories of Jason Campbell. Tell me what you remember about those 2010 and 2011 seasons. Let us build a record of what actually happened before the NFL erases it completely. 11 wins, 7 losses. One quarterback who did everything right and got nothing in return. His name is Jason Campbell, and he deserves to be remembered. The Raiders forgot him. We will not.